So I needed something to do while my son was and his best friend were in the movies. Um, I am currently being chauffeured around by him as he's getting his driver's license soon. It's quite terrifying when we get into the city and everything. The roads that we live on are much more quiet and easier to navigate, but the city, the congestion and everything, and the highways, scary stuff for me. But it's scary for me to drive it myself. I hate driving in congestion and in big cities. But yeah, we made it. We made it. He did a good job. Only a few times that I thought that we might get into an accident, but I'm also just a nervous driver, nervous passenger, actually. I'm a nervous passenger because I've been in a lot of car accidents and yeah, just kind of have some PTSD from that, but that's okay. So what I did with my time, because the movie theater is quite some ways away from our house, we had to go pick up his friend, which is a long way away, and then this theater's like really far from our house. So I went to Barnes and Noble to look at some books and grab a coffee. So I just decided to go ahead and go to Barnes and Noble and chill. And while I was there, why not? I had 2 hours to spare, so I made a little video for y'all. So I'm going to show you what books, and of course, Barnes & Noble is full of books, but they do have a religion section. That's a very broad term. Their religious section also includes all religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Muslim, all of it. And it's a very broad range of Christian books too. But there is a section that's like more like Christian. They have a whole Bible section. They had a lot of Bibles to choose from. I was actually pleasantly surprised for that. But you know, without further ado, let's just get into it. I'll show you what books if I were shopping at Barnes & Noble, what books I would leave and what books I would buy. I'll show you that, or what books I already bought, and how I like them, because there's a lot of books on these shelves that I actually do have and I've read, or I have and I haven't read yet. But I didn't get to go through all of them. There's like hundreds of books, but I went through what I could. And I braved public recording. That's scary. It's scary for an introvert. But yeah, then I'll show you what I took home.
Alright, so first off, it was really hard to find this section. I think they made it smaller since I was younger and coming to Barnes & Noble more often, but I couldn't help but notice that there were multiple horse books here, and I am a horse girl, so those drew my attention pretty much instantly. There are a lot of eschatology books or end time books, and those are ones that I'm more likely not going to pick, but it just depends. I just want to be sure that the claims are clearly grounded and rooted in scripture. C.S. Lewis, on the other hand, Surprised by Joy, heard a lot of good things about this one. I would take that. Now, some of these books will catch my attention and some of them won't, and this one, Kisses by Katie, or Kisses from Katie, this was recommended from a pastor that I listened to, and it's supposed to be really good. She's a missionary and adopts a bunch of children, and just seemed like a sweet, sweet story. I haven't read it though, but I would take that. When Jesus Returns, Living with the Expectation of the End Times, I like to look at who the author is. So she comes from the Olive Tree Ministries. I do follow them. So this is one of the eschatology books I would probably take home. Bonhoeffer by Eric Metaxas. I do have that. I haven't read it yet. And then skimming through this next shelf, Corrie ten Boom, The Hiding Place. Definitely would take that home. Let's see what else they have here. Okay, this is one of my favorite books, Gentle and Lowly by Dane Ortland. Probably like top 3 of my favorite books. I would definitely take this home. And then pretty much anything Dane Ortland I'm taking home. Garden Within, Dr. Anita, and I forget the last name because I'm covering it, Phillips. This I would probably leave. I've seen this a few times. Seems like a mainstream popular one, but Breaking the Patterns That Break You. The cover was interesting to me. Might be something I take home if I'm having some struggle breaking some habits. Then Everything You Need to Know About Healing. I'm probably not taking any of these kinds of books home. I immediately noticed this one called The Sabbath Way. I practice the Sabbath, or at least try to, so this was one that caught my interest, and the author looks good. So then we're looking through this top shelf here, Home with God by Kyle Worley. I do have this book. I have started reading it. It's really good. Definitely recommend, definitely taking that home. Another horse book, Joey. Take it or leave it. I'm not really big on novels too much. A.W. Tozer, there's a whole section here from him. These are books that I would take. And then I saw The Cold Case Christianity by J. Warner Wallace. Yes, taking that home for sure. I actually have it, but that's one that I would buy. All right, let's see. Okay, Stephen Furtick's Greater. A friend gave me this book a long time ago, and I never read it, but I would leave it. And then Mostly What God Does. I see this book everywhere. It's by Savannah Guthrie. Probably gonna leave it. These mainstream kind of books, I'm not really too big on. They don't really get into like the meat of things, so I'm leaving that. All of these prophecy books, like The Harbinger by Jonathan Cahn, I'm leaving all of those. They're very intriguing when he talks about them, but I'm just not going to entertain all of that. But yeah, I'm leaving all of these. Here's some more prophecy books. Look Up. This one is by Pastor Jimmy Evans. I'm maybe take it or leave it for that one. The World Before the Flood. That looked interesting. Probably one I want to do more research on before I would take that one. Jesus Revealed in the End Times. This one actually looked good, and I would probably take it. It's by Dr. Robert Jeffries because it's talking about the hope and Jesus in eschatology. I would take that one home. All right, The Signs of the Times. This is by Barry Stagner, and this is The Last Hour by Amir Sarfati. I do watch and follow both of them. I do have their books, and I do have those too. Doing Life with Your Adult Children, Jim Burns. I would take this. In fact, I tried to go back to find it, and I couldn't, so it was going to come home with me, but. And then Jenny Allen, Untangle Your Emotions. I have this book. I actually really do enjoy it. I'm still reading it, actually. And then Nothing to Prove. I haven't read it, but Jenny Allen, I would take home. My husband has this book, Every Man's Battle. I don't know if he's read it yet, but Consider the Lilies. I just bought this on Audible, and I absolutely love it. If you struggle with anxiety, yes, take this one home. This one is really good. Very helpful. All right, I have Amir Sarfati's books, and I read them. Has the Tribulation Begun? And spoiler alert, the answer is no. So these books, The Essentials of Prophecy, all of that, I do like his books. I do enjoy reading them. Why Do I Do What I Don't Want to Do? This is by Pak Buddha, and this is one that I would take home. We just read this, studied it at church, and yes, I would take it home. Allie Beth Stuckey. I heard that it's good, so I would probably take it, but I don't have an interest in reading it right now. All the Joyce Meyer books, we're leaving all of those, so that's going to be staying on the shelf today. Then we have Derek Prince, Prayer Warrior Collection, and Expelling Demons and all that, leaving. C.S. Lewis, every C.S. Lewis book on the shelf, I would recommend and take home. Mere Christianity especially, take it home. Then we have The House That Jesus Built by Natalie Runyon. This is about house churches, I believe. I would take this because we have a house church. The Miracle Code. We are not taking that. We are leaving that there. And also Joel Osteen. Any Joel Osteen books are staying on the shelf. What it means to be Protestant, Gavin Ortland, taking. I love Gavin Ortland as well, great author and solid teacher. I found this stack of books and they were all really good. St. Augustine Confessions, Lee Strobel, The Case for Christ, Imagine Heaven, and Christianity, the First 3,000 Years, and C.S. Lewis, the Screwtape Letters. Probably taking all of those. Except I don't know what Imagine Heaven is about, so I would look into that more. But look at this Christianity. The First 3,000 Years book. It's only $35. And if I had $35 today, y'all, I would be taking this home because this is educational and I want that one. Maybe I'm coming back for it. Here are all their Bibles. Look at this. Look at how many Bibles they have to choose from. And they have some really good ones too. All right, now we're getting into the meat and the potatoes. This is the stuff that I like. Roses, Deluxe Timelines, Bible and Christian History. Yes, 100% taking that home. Such a good resource, y'all. They have maps and charts and everything that you could ever want and need. Taking that home. I don't have this one, so it's on my list now. Holman Illustrated Bible Dictionary. I already have it, but I would take it home if I didn't. More of Rose's Bible maps and charts and timelines. Yes, taking these home. Love Rose's resources. They're so good. I highly recommend them. And then let's see here. We have the Bible Recap, which I already did a review on that. So Strong's Concordance. Look how big this thing is. Yes, I would probably leave it because I can get this online for free and it's huge. But if you want to take that home, then more power to you. This is the Roses, Charts, Maps, and Timelines book that I have. I'm sorry I did not give you a very good view of that. And then there's this Bible that I've been looking at. It's the Color Code Study Bible. It's really interesting. I think it would be good for teenagers. The Way of the Wildflower by Ruth Chow Simmons. I would take that home. Priscilla Schreier. I would take that home. I have Fervent. Love this book a lot. I've read the whole thing. Very helpful for prayer. And then I see some devotionals. Well-Watered Woman. I would take that home. Anything Paul David Tripp, one of my favorite authors. These are all his devotions. Yes, I would take them home. 100% all of them. Charles Spurgeon, Morning and Evening. Heard this one was good. It's another devotional. I would take it. Tyler Staton, Praying Like Monks, Living Like Fools. I do have this. I read the whole thing. It was a very good and helpful book for me, but there are some ideas in there that might be a little bit interesting. Again, all Paul David Tripp books. We're going for those. Now, Jesus Calling devotions. I am leaving these. All of them. Every single one getting put back on the shelf. I know people love them. I used to have them too, but they're getting put back on the shelf. Billy Graham, Wisdom for Each Day. Any of these Billy Graham devotionals, yes, I'm taking. And then we have the Honest Prayers for Mama Bears. Love the Mama Bear book series. I never read them because they came out after when my son was a teenager. These liturgy books look really good. I would take those. And then I found Faith's book, No More Boring Bible Studies. I have it. I would take it. Definitely recommend. And most of you probably know who she is, Faith Womack. Son of Hamas. I might want to look into this, but it might be one that I would consider taking if it's like a testimony. Apostolic Revolution. We are leaving this and just going to put that back on the shelf. Okay, I spotted like one of my favorite books. Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabil Qureshi. Yes. Taking this home. It is probably like top 1, 2, 3 favorite book. Definitely taking that. M is for Mama. Lots of Mama books. I'm not going to take it just because I have an almost adult son or an adult son. So, yeah, I'm going to just leave that. But all these motherhood books would be great. Raising Prophetic Kids, I'm going to leave that on the shelf. Not going to be taking that. Mama Bear Apologetics, I would take this if I had younger children. And I do have this one, God is Still Good, and that is a really good book for moms. Timothy Keller, The Meaning of Marriage, The Love Dare. These are books that I would take considering marriage. Jesus Followers. This is by Anne Graham Lotz. I would take it. And okay. Seeing the Supernatural by Lee Strobel. Just read this book. I do recommend. I really enjoyed it. I love Lee Strobel's take on things. He does investigations, so all about that.
I'm about to lose all my light, but I did get The Sabbath Way. and it's by Travis Stew, or West Stew. I read that backwards. It's by Travis West, and I will tell you more about it in a minute once I get to my next destination. Okay, the book that I decided to go with is called The Sabbath Way. It's by Travis West. And I've never heard of him, actually. I've never read his books, but it's Making Room in Your Life for Rest, Connection, and Delight. I am big on Sabbath. Yes, I do know that Sabbath is the only 10 commandment that's not commanded in the New Testament. So, we do not have to practice Sabbath. But in our day and age, in our life, and the way that, in the American lifestyle, I honestly think it's a lost practice that should come back in a lot of ways, but I think that we have freedom in how we do that. So our family tries to practice Sabbath, and if we're practicing Sabbath the correct way, it's on Saturday. We worship on Sundays, but my family does practice Sabbath on Saturdays at sundown. We usually try to have a big family meal together and a feast together. Sabbath rest is really important for us, and I'm going to tell you more about that because my son's coming out now, so I'll tell you more when I get home. Okay, so one of the things when I'm looking at a book, and literally do not pay attention to my nail polish. I painted these yesterday. I can't do nail polish. It's horrible. But anyway, one of the things that I'm looking for when I'm looking at my book is the author, and I'll look at the back and what seminary he came from, other books that he's written, and just his background and his history. He's a professor of Hebrew and Old Testament at Western Theological Seminary in Holland, Michigan. So I am interested in what he has to say, and then I will also look at who has done forwards or reviews of the book. So we have Ruth Haley Barton. I've read a few books from her. And then Chuck DeGroat. I do not know who that is, but I do know Kelly Kapic. He's a professor, and I do have his books, and I think that they're really good. So I do trust his opinion. So then we have a whole bunch of other people that I don't recognize, but I would definitely consider who is reviewing and who is doing the forward. And I also consider the publisher. This is Tyndale, so I do trust Tyndale's publishing more so than others, so definitely something that I'm going to be interested in. This is a spiritual growth, Christian living book. I'm going to also look at his resources. What do they have resources? Is he pulling from those things? This has quite a few, so that tells me that he did some good research on that, and yeah. And then I might look at what's in the contents to see what he's going to be talking about. Is this something that I'm interested in, or maybe it's not? So this one is something that I'd be interested in, so that's why I brought it home. So I'm really excited to read it, and I will do a book review on it. I'm actually going to start doing some book review videos where I review multiple videos and what I'm reading currently for the month. So stay tuned for that.